So the Goldfields Project, where we're advancing potential for Saskatchewan's next gold mine. Just shown there in the picture is that historical head frame and the mill frame, as well as that power line that runs to site. And this is sitting right on the deposit itself. It runs along strike for about 850 meters, all in outcrop and exposed, a nice, really nice open pit scenario for that deposit. So just to recap on Goldfields and some of the key attributes for the project, it's got established infrastructure and access, and that's in a historical mining area. There's a road from Uranium City to site. There's a hydro power line to site. The regional access is obtained through the winter ice road that's maintained by the government, as well as summer barge access. There's a large airport at Uranium City as well. And being, just within 13 kilometers of Uranium City, it's an ideal hub for a future mine development with a number of civil contractors based there and a lot of heavy machinery. So ideally poised from an infrastructure point of view. Our de-risked mineral resources, we have around 1.2 million ounces in open pit constrained resources. 82% of those are in the indicated category, the remainder in the inferred. And that's, if you look across to the figure there, just showing the breakdown of the resources between the Box and Athona deposits. Box making up about 80% of the total resources. Why we say they're de-risked is that the PEA utilized 99% indicated resources. In other words, there's really no additional drilling needed to convert those indicated resources into reserves at a PFS or FS stage. So de-risk from the confidence of the resources, but also de-risk from the mineral resource estimate, whereby there's been a little bit of historical underground production at the Box mine, and our mineral resource estimate reconciles to within 1% of that historical production, providing us with additional confidence in that estimate. The PEA envisage a very simple mining and processing operation. It's conventional open pit, all on land with the appropriate buffers to any water bodies, a low strip ratio of 3:1 across both deposits. You'll be hard pressed to find a better strip ratio amongst gold projects in Canada. Very simple mineralogy, just free gold with very little to no deleterious elements, which lends itself to a standard free milling flow sheet with a 95.3% recovery, with the potential to improve upon that with some additional metallurgical test work. The permitting is well advanced in the sense we have an approved environmental impact statement from 2008 that was approved by the provincial government, also reviewed by the federal government, for a Box open pit mine at the Box deposit and a 5,000 ton per day mill. That remains valid today, and we can utilize that to shorten the time frame toward production. Obviously, with that approved EAIS comes a large repository of baseline data, which will help streamline the path on the permitting side. There's the potential to amend that permit in an enlarged production case that could include Athona and a different flow sheet. And that can be done through amendment to the permit itself or updating the EIS with additional baseline data. And then, of course, on the exploration side, both Box and Athona remain open. Both those deposits, ability to add resources there, as well as from more advanced prospects like Frontier and Golden Pond, where there's some nice high-grade intercepts and more drilling required to add to the project resources. In terms of the 2022 PEA sensitivities and the economics around the project, a robust set of economics across different gold prices. What's probably most relevant today is our upside case, which was at a gold price of $1,950 an ounce. You'll see today a number of companies running base cases at PEA, PFS, or FS level using a $1,950 an ounce gold price, or even higher at around $2,000 an ounce. So that really reflects where we are economically, with the project providing an after-tax NPV of around 460 million Canadian, an after-tax IRR of just over 50% and a 1.3-year payback. So a very attractive set of economics. And obviously the scope to improve upon that with a PFS or FS study, given that the project has a high sensitivity to gold price. And obviously we're sitting around $2,600 an ounce today. So a very compelling case to move this project forward. Also, given the low capex at around 234 million, a very competitive all-in sustaining cost of $889 an ounce. That's obviously from the 2022 PEA, so some updates will be required. And the PEA envisaged just over 100,000 ounces average per year of mine production, with around an average of 122,000 ounces a year coming in years 1 to 4. So we announced this morning a study that's being undertaken for the project by Fuse Advisors, where we'll be defining a project development roadmap. And the real objective is to define the optimal path to production, integrating both the permitting aspects as well as engineering aspects for the project. And this study will build upon the 2022 PEA and the approved 2008 EIS. It will also develop a detailed plan and budget for advancing the project into development, whether that be at a pre-feasibility level or directly to a feasibility level. And the study is going to take around 2 months to complete, and we look forward to reporting on results for that study when it becomes available. We've decided to work with Fuse Advisors after talking to various firms. Fuse specialize in these types of integrated studies. We have both permitting and engineering aspects to sort of couple and optimize a path for the project forward. They have direct experience in Saskatchewan, particularly on the permitting side, which is very useful for our project, and a record of successfully advancing other leading Canadian gold projects. To just put into perspective what the study is trying to achieve, and here we just see a summary of all the components of the project that we'll be using to move it forward. The project has a large historical data set, and that comes from a 2008 feasibility for the Box deposit that was done by the previous owner, a 2011 pre-feasibility study done by Brigus Gold, all which have provided a lot of technical data that can still be used today to advance the project. So in a good position with the amount of technical data we have. Also from that approved 2008 EIS, a significant amount of baseline data that can be used and updated upon to move the project forward. The current status of the project is an updated mineral resource estimate, which was done by SRK. That was on the back of some drilling Fortune Bay completed, where we did expand the deposit and complete an open pit constrained resource with a strong geological model. That's something that wasn't incorporated in previous studies. So that's improved our understanding of the deposit, but also given us greater confidence in the resource estimate and exactly where the gold is located, and allows for more detailed planning around different mining scenarios. The updated MRE was used by Senko to conclude the 2002 PEA, which I've just summarized. So the study today will incorporate all these data sets and produce a project development roadmap, and that really is providing the optimal path to construction and production. That study is going to incorporate different cases for mine design, flow sheets, and different cases for throughput, and we'll also look at different permitting scenarios, all bringing that together to determine how best to move the project forward from a permitting and engineering standpoint. It will build upon the 2002 PEA and the 2008 EIS, and will leverage all that historical data sets, both from the technical side and environmental side. That will be able to advance the project to the next stages of engineering and design, be that a pre-feasibility study or possibly even directly to a feasibility study. It will also give us guidance on the permitting side, where we need to update and add baseline data to the existing data sets, from which we can move onward to the updated environmental approvals for the project, which would be done in step with pre-feas or feasibility. On the duty to consult side, things have changed quite significantly over the last 10 years or so, where there's a greater onus on the proponent, being the company, to consult with community groups. And we've certainly done that at Fortune Bay. When we started working the project in 2021, we started building a relationship with those communities. That was all formalized in late 2022, shortly after the PEA was concluded, in an exploration agreement, which provides consent for all exploration activities and development activities up to and including a feasibility study. That exploration agreement will then be moved forward through engagement consultation during the PFS, FS stages toward an IBA. And that's an impact benefit agreement, which will outline the impacts and benefits to the communities at a mining stage. And that can all be completed and needs to be completed prior to construction and production.